Hello friends, this is my next video on VLOOKUP, and I am using the same table which I used in my previous table, having employee code, employee name and employee salary. So this is the table that I will be referencing in this video again for the matter of simplicity. Now in this example we will be looking at employee code, and let's have some example employee codes as 1 3 5 12 7. Okay, and we want the employee names and also the employee salary of these particular employee codes. Now if you look over here, we have employee codes from 1 to 10. However, in this particular table we are looking for employee codes from 1 and having 12 here as well. We will look into this, how we look up functions if it doesn't find a particular lookup value in the table array that we reference to. Okay, so what we will do is we will start filling up the formula for VLOOKUP. Lookup for A2, and our table array is from column A to column C. Now we want to find the employee name, so we will put column 2, and here we can see it shows ABC. Also in the formula result it shows ABC. In this video I also want to touch base on the range lookup reference. As mentioned earlier, that you can omit this if you want this condition, logical condition, to be true. However, if you want to find an exact match, then this condition has to be applied as false. Now either you can type false over here, or you can type 0. So 0 is equivalent to false and 1 is equivalent to true. We need to type false here so that our VLOOKUP formula searches for an exact match of the employee code. Why we want to do it? That it searches for an exact match for employee code 12 as well, and if it doesn't find that in our master employee table, then it gives us appropriate message or information regarding that. I will click on OK. I get my employee name here. Or if you look at this cell at the bottom right hand side, when you hover your mouse over, it turns into a plus sign. What you need to do is either drag it to the bottom, or what you can do is double click and it will fill the formula for you for the corresponding cells. Here we can see that employee code 12, which is not available in the reference table that we are looking at, gives a value of NA, which is not applicable. This is fine. This is not an error, but this is indicating that yes, we are looking for an employee code that is not applicable in the reference table where we are looking for it. All right, now as you have seen that we could quickly drag this formula down, and it is working fine for us. We can also drag the formula to the right to get the employee salary over here. However, we need to tweak the formula a little bit to make sure that it works as expected. So what we really want is that this table to refer to the right columns and the right tables. So when we drag the formula from left to right, it also not only shifts from the cell B to cell C, but it shifts every reference in the formula one step to the right. So as you can see in this column, it is looking up for column A, cell A2. However, it here is referencing looking up for B2. Now if you click on the F2 keyboard, it's searching for ABC. That is not what we want. We still want to search on employee code. So what you can do is click on the blue square and drag it to column 1. Also in the master employee table, you can see it is referencing to B and D, but what we want it to do is refer to column A to column C. um, and instead of column 2, we want this to refer to column 3, and this is fine. Here we can see that this is it shows the salary for employee code 1. The salary shows 10,000. Employee code 1, the salary shown as 10,000. This is perfect. And next what we need to do is we can again click on the plus handle and drag it down. That's how it works. So I have just shown you a quick way of changing the formulas by as soon as you drag the formula to the right, the references shift to the right. Another way of doing that would have been to probably as we type the formula here, we go to look up references again, look up the value of this, refer to the master employee table once again, and this time choose column number 3, which is the salary. Still have the lookup range as false because we want to look for exact match, and false gives us an exact match. Click on OK and just drag and drop the formula down. Another way that I want to show you here is by using a dollar sign. So what we can do is, since you can look at the formula here, as soon as I drag it from here to here, the references change. But what we don't want to happen is that from A2 should remain as A2. So what we want is that we put a dollar sign in front of A so that A does not change. And if you put a dollar sign here, then 2 will also not change. However, we just want a dollar sign in front of A right now, and if I drag the formula here, it still refers to A2, as you can see here. We will look at this NA later on, but right now our idea is to get A2 as the reference. Now next is what in this we don't want A and C to change, so we will have a dollar sign here and a dollar sign here, and then drag the cancel, and then drag the formula here. We get the same thing because it is giving the column as 2 column index. We want the column index as 3. Now this should be fine. If I drag my formula down now, this again works perfectly fine. Now we have got the dollar signs, so even if we drag this formula here, all we need to do is just change the column index reference. Now as we can see that we've got dollar signs here to make them static and not variables that change after dragging the formula, and it's just a matter of dragging it down. This is all what I wanted to show you in this VLOOKUP reference table. You can drag the formulas here down, and you can drag the formulas to your right, but when you drag them to the right, make sure you have dollar signs applied to make your variables static and they do not move, to give you the right values. Hash NA is not an error, but it's just an indication that what you're referencing in the VLOOKUP table, we don't have a value which is applicable for that. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice time.